Hello, hello, hello. You are here again with Dave Jose, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Adrian Fontes video, as well as some of the things that he did on that video. And then I want to talk to you about some of the similarities of a tyrant of the past that Adrian reminds me of. Now, my schooling is in psychology. I think I might have told you guys that before. And one thing that I do understand is the idea of conditioning, classical conditioning, doing the same things over repetitively in order to make sure it burns an image into somebody's mind. And what I noticed in that video that Mr. Adrian Fontes, the ex-county recorder, in that video, he kept saying the word sedition and seditionists about the Republican Party or part of the Republican Party over and over and over again, almost like he was trying to convince the people that this was true and real without explaining the word. So what I want to do is I want to go to the Black's Law Dictionary, 5th edition, and I want to look up the word sedition, and I want to see if it really fits with reality and if what Mr. Fontes said was true. Let's go. Sedition, communication or agreement which has its objective the stirring up of treason or certain lesser commotions or the defamation of the government. So if you're trying to defame the government or get people to take action in a sense where they're going against the lawful acts of government, notice that this is not about unlawful acts, but we need to stop and slow down and see if the acts of the legislature are lawful. Does the legislature have power to find out that all votes are legal and to ensure the people that is the case? Let's see. In all elections held by the people in this state, the person or persons receiving the highest number of legal votes shall be declared elected. Now, we understand that this must be a post voting process. Just to be clear, to understand what I'm saying, if you're going to make sure that all votes are legal, that are counted to see who would be the elected person, you can only do that after you collect all the votes, right? So you would have to collect all the votes, and then you would have to deduce or reduce the number of illegal votes off to make sure that you're only using legal votes. Now, it is the duty of the people in Arizona to make sure that, the government officials, that the votes are legal, anybody involved. So the legislature has the power to do that. It's in the state constitution. Katie Hobbs should be doing it. But notice that the trick that Mr. Fontes tried to use is he said, well, the court gave them authority to be able to have these ballots. First of all, the court did not give them the power to have the ballots or the authority. The legislature already had the authority. The court just confirmed that, yeah, the legislature has this authority and they can subpoena and you better do it, right? So Adrian Fontes is trying to trick the people by getting them to believe that the court gave them some magical power to be able to only look at certain things for certain reasons. Understand that the legislature has broad powers, and you cannot say that just because in this court case you talked about these certain things in order to get an audit that you can't do anything else. That would be foolishness. Now let's look up another word, treason. The offense of attempting by overt acts to overthrow the government of the state to which the offender owes allegiance, or of betraying the state into the hands of a foreign power. Now we're going to go kind of deep. So the power that the state has, the state constitution is what's called a trust indenture. You have people who are serving in positions of trust, and we grant them certain powers or authority and tell them what they can do, and they can only function within the confines of that constitution. Well, as we saw in Article 7, Section 7 of the Arizona Constitution, the people have the right to have the person elected who had the most legal votes. What Adrian Fontes and many of the other people who are attacking an audit is doing is trying to stop the people from carrying out the true Arizona election process and being able to tell who had the most legal votes, because there has not been a single test done to make sure that all votes counted were legal. And this is what they don't want. So the power that they are exercising is foreign to the Arizona Constitution because it does not exist in the Arizona Constitution. So if anybody is doing anything like treason, it would have to be Fontes and his friends. Don't take my word for it. Let's let the Supreme Court tell us. Any judge who does not comply with his oath to the Constitution of the United States wars against the Constitution and engages in acts in violation of the supreme law of the land. The judge is engaged in acts of treason. The U.S. Supreme Court has stated that no state legislature or executive or judicial officer can war against the Constitution without violating his undertaking to support it. And y'all see the court cases below. So guys, we got to understand that just the simple idea that the legislature will not follow the people would be treason. So what is Fontes? But let's go a step further. They're attacking the legislature, the representatives who are government workers, for trying to give the people the truth and let them see that things were done correctly, and for scrutinizing as our Arizona Constitution allows us to. But let's go a little bit deeper. Where else did we see people in the past try to speak to people or program people and tell them that a certain thing was right or true when it wasn't? If you tell a big enough lie and tell it frequently enough, it will be believed. Adolf Hitler.